So if the lineup ends up being Donald Trump versus Joe Biden in 2024, who do you choose?
I know it's an unpopular opinion, but I think the Republicans need to take a good hard look at Trump. A lot of them don't believe this stuff, but I think he did do some wrong things. And they need a new, fresh person to take over the party, and it's not Trump.
And you think Mike Pence is the person?
Pence, DeSantis, some of those people.
Where do you think we begin to heal this problem where large amounts of the Republican Party think the election was stolen, think everything is rigged against Trump? They're basically so disillusioned to a point where it's almost delusion.
Yeah, it's going to take him, I think, for Trump just to literally disappear. It's a bad thing to say, but yeah, he's just got to disappear. And then they just got to say, okay, we need to come together, because as a whole, this country is divided. Mm-hmm. Whether they like it or not, it is. And it's going to take some time, unfortunately, to heal.
Yeah.
It's just going to take time.
I agree. What do you think about DeSantis and the Florida government passing laws removing important lessons from the school curriculums, like Black American history, AP psychology? What do you think about that?
I don't like it. I used to be a history teacher in the juvenile detention facility. Mm-hmm. I taught history. Hey, that's whether we like it or not, that's part of our history. People got to learn this stuff so that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past. That's what happens. If you don't pay attention to what happened in the past history, we are destined to repeat those mistakes. Mm-hmm. So I don't like that he took that stuff out. I call myself a common sense Democrat. I look at who's the best candidate, and then I will vote for that person. This past election, example was I can't remember who the lady was running for Democrat. I didn't like her, so I voted for Kim Reynolds. In the past, there's been Democratic candidates I didn't like. I voted Republican. I call myself a common sense Democrat.
So if the lineup ends up being Donald Trump versus Joe Biden in 2024, who do you choose?
Biden.
Now, I am not surprised whatsoever that a former history teacher, somebody who is well-versed in the history of America, understands what is truly at stake this election and understands that Donald Trump having the entire Republican Party wrapped around his finger is not good for the GOP. This guy also mentions that history tends to repeat itself, so Ron DeSantis removing these important courses throughout schools in Florida is dangerous. This video was filmed at the Iowa State Fair 8 months ago, and it gives me a lot of hope to see that people who may not be as plugged into politics as you or I understand what is truly at stake.
I do want to ask you about, I'm very, very confused about the wokeness and of why wouldn't everybody in the world want to be woke? Like why wouldn't you want to be aware of everything and everybody and who they are and who they love and what's going on? And it's a fact. It's life. Like my kids have lots of friends that have two moms or two dads, or it's just what is happening.
That clip also gives me hope. It was from the same day at the Iowa State Fair when I hosted a debate between a MAGA father and his liberal daughter. The link will pop up somewhere up here if you want to watch the entire thing. But just seeing that people who aren't that plugged into politics understand what is at stake, and they understand the game that is being played by Republicans who would rather talk about wokeness and other culture war stuff rather than talking about actual policies that would help the everyday American, like healthcare. By the way, the plan is coming in 2 weeks.
So just the last one. So if you guys oppose this law that bans classroom instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity in K through 3, does the White House support that kind of classroom instruction before kindergarten?
Do you have examples of schools in Florida that are teaching kindergartners about sex education?
I'm just asking for the president's opinion.
I think that's a relevant question, because I think this is a politically charged, harsh law that is putting parents and LGBTQ plus kids in a very difficult a heartbreaking circumstance. And so I actually think that's a pretty relevant question. Go ahead.
That clip of Jen Psaki from almost 2 years ago is perfect because it highlights that Florida schools are removing curriculum for zero reason, and they're also using LGBTQ plus folks as a crutch. They basically spread complete lies about what is happening in our education systems. All of this is to say that I know it sometimes feels hopeless when you see me interviewing these hardcore MAGAs who are so dug into their beliefs, but there are plenty of examples in my interviews of just average people who are sick of the Republican Party. I mean, I've even interviewed a few former Trump supporters or current Trump supporters where I was able to move their position on things like Ukraine or things like January 6th. If you made it this far in the video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to comment a blue heart so I know that you liked the video, and have a great day.